back. It's Dawn, and today I am cutting out the embellishments for my painting. And these are the swipes that I did in the previous video. And I haven't used them all, but I will save them because I did get some really nice effects here. So I wanted to kind of quickly show you how I did this. So I cut out a bunch of shapes. These are monstera leaves. So I cut out a bunch of different shaped leaves and used them multiple times. And what I simply did was just flip them over to get a different looking leaf for a different area or a different side. And I cut them out on just regular paper, and I placed them where, sorry about that, where I wanted them, and Maverick, stop, and trace them out with a fine tip Sharpie. Now what you have to be careful of when you cut these out is that you cut off all the black lines. You can't leave those. So you do want to cut off all the black lines, because if you don't, though, that ink, even though it is a permanent ink, can bleed into your varnish or resin or whatever you use. Now, initially, I was going to use a very sharp X-Acto blade to cut these out, but found that they're still very stretchy. So I only use the X-Acto blade on these little cutout areas that don't go to the edge. So I'm using long blade scissors for this so that I get nice long sweeping cuts, nothing choppy. And I'll cut this out really quick so you can see how easy it is. So I'm just going along slightly to the inside of the black line that I made. And just sort of turning my work as I go, holding my scissors in basically the same spot and moving the work around. I find that to be the easiest way to get nice crisp cut lines. I'm just going to snap that off there. And then I'm not cutting out the slits in the leaves just yet. I'm going to cut those out afterwards when it's less awkward. So I have it here, and just going to carefully follow it around. Need to see my line so that I can remove the black ink, and I did miss some, so I'm just carefully cutting out each one of these little holes. Just like that. What I really like about using an actual X-Acto knife instead of a utility knife is that it's round, and the tip is very pointed, so you can kind of work smoothly around your curves. So this is what I have so far. And you may remember this piece from a couple of weeks ago. So I cut this piece out to fill in another area, and I'm sort of undecided as to where I'm going to put it. May do, and I am overlapping some. It's tough to decide. Oh, I think that's good, just like that. So I'm happy with that. All right, everything else I like the layout of, and I'm going to be attaching these with regular gloss gel medium. I have a little bit left in this tub. This was super heavy gloss gel that I had colored with some pigments and some paint. And I'm going to do my small ones first, and then I'll whip through the rest of them and come back and show you what I've got. So I don't really have enough room in this space, but it'll have to do for today. So I'm using a silicone mat, and I am turning my leaves. Let's do this one because it's a little bit bigger. Upside down, and grabbing a good amount. Bit here, and I haven't decided how much I'm going to add, so I'm just going to play it by ear, and all I'm doing is simply putting a little bit on this rather small brush and just burnishing it into the texture, just like that. Super simple. This is nothing complicated. And I'm not covering everything in this first pass. I want to see how it looks in different light and different angles. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that amount of gold burnished in, and hopefully you can see this. So once I have all of the embellishments done, I'm putting 2 to 3 coats of Kamar varnish over top, and that is a spray varnish. It is archival, so it will protect my colors and my finish, and that will be my sealer to seal everything down. That's why I'm not worried about using a dry pigment like I have here. So the next thing I'm going to do is drop a couple of blobs of paint, and we're going to put some stems in. And then I have to go get my darker gray for shadowing, and I will get that afterwards. So I'm using just a yellow, just a basic, it's Artist Loft, brilliant yellow. Just dropping a little bit of that down, and a little bit of olive green deep from Amsterdam. I don't need a whole lot of either one. That's probably way too much, but that's okay. So I'm going to take the the deep green. And so my stem would be coming out here, which you're really not going to be able to see much. So I'm just putting a little paint in there and then picking it up down here. Okay, so what you're going to need for your shadowing, I picked a nice dark Payne's gray. It's a little softer than a stark black would be. So you're going to need a soft deep gray, a little bit of water, a damp rag, and a fine point paintbrush. So what I'm doing, my brush is damp, and I'm just dipping a little bit of the tip into the Payne's gray, and I am running with the brush slanted just along the edge, just like this. And it's a little hard to get in here, especially where I've got wet paint everywhere. So I'm laying in a line of the Payne's gray, and then I'm wiping my brush and just wiping through the color to soften the outer edge. And that will leave me with a shadow of Payne's gray. So I'm gonna whip through this, and I will be back. Pretty happy with the overall effect. Sorry. The shadowing, which I may touch up just a little bit as it dries. But let's look in some different light here, and you can see the gold pigment that I brushed over top and the shadowing, which I just want to clean up. See, it's a little messy, and I will clean that up just a little bit with a just a damp brush just to soften the edges. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the texture, pretty happy with the overall look. And I think at this point I am going to get it ready to be varnished. And I will show you what it looks like when it's all done. So here is the finished piece. I am really pleased with how it came out. I love the 3D appearance. And it has 3 coats of Kamar varnish on it right now. And I am undecided as to whether I want to do a satin varnish, a satin poly, to maintain some of this texture, which is just gorgeous. Or if I want to resin it and then maybe do a satin, buff it out to a satin. Can't really decide. I'm going to hang on to it for a few weeks and keep looking at it. I'm going to hang it up in my dining room, actually, so that I can kind of look at it and see how the light hits it. I do think it's likely that I am going to resin it. So I will let you know, but I don't know myself right now. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me on this fun little adventure. I've never done much embellishment, but I do think I'll be doing more as time goes by. I do love how this turned out. I hope you love it too. Thank you for watching, and I will catch up with you soon, I hope. Take care.